Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Brad with Tax Defense Ohio. Today I wanted to talk about the Employee Retention Credit. So the Employee Retention Credit is a mechanism that allows businesses that either had a loss or were affected by a government lockdown or government shutdown or some form of government restriction in 20 or 21 to go back and recoup a great amount of the cost that they paid employees and employee health care. Even retirement benefits can come into that. So if you're a business and you had employees and you were affected by one, either losing money or having a decrease in revenues, or two, being affected by a government order, such as all restaurants in my state, which is Ohio, were affected by a government order. They weren't allowed to be open, they couldn't have people in. Automatically, they would be qualified for this employee retention credit. Now, what you can do is you can get basically up to $33,000 per employee, up to for 2020 and 2021, going by quarter, each quarter, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter of 20, um, and then the first three quarters of 2021. You can actually get a higher credit for those businesses that had employees for the first three quarters of 2021. The ERC is not available for fourth quarter of 2021. We're going through a lot of these things now and finding out, average clients getting 40, 50, $60,000 in this tax credit. And you can either apply it to payroll taxes in the future, or you can get an actual check back from the IRS. And the way it works is it's filed on your payroll tax forms, your Form 941s, and you go back and you calculate the wages that you had that qualified and figure out, just going through those, how much you're qualified for. You want your accountant to do it, and probably not just every accountant. You want an accountant that specializes in doing ERC, because it is complicated. It's not something that's we've always done. It's brand new, when for the coronavirus response. So it's a relatively new thing. Not a lot of folks are doing it, but it's very lucrative for those that haven't filed for it yet. We had a restaurant here in Ohio. We're getting them 62,000 back. And that's average revenue of about 500,000. So for them, that's huge. It's more than 10% of their annual revenue they're getting back, and they're going to get a paper check from the IRS for that amount, for $62,000 and change. So it could be very lucrative if you had employees during these times and you qualify. Couple things. One, if you had a PPP loan, you have to reconcile out, what you had for PPP, because you can't double dip. You can't get a PPP credit for that same dollar, that same wage paid on the same pay period as you are for the ERC. But you want to give us that information, and we can look through and say, hey, this month this was your covered period for PPP, and all those items outside of that would necessarily be applicable, open for your employee retention credit if you otherwise meet the criteria. So, sound kind of complicated, it is, but it's actually free money from the government, which hardly ever happens. So here's the IRS offering business owners free money. Never happens. Never happens. So it's a great program. A lot of complexity to it. A lot of complexity to it. But if you're a $500,000 business and you're getting 50 or 60 grand, or you're a $200,000 business and you're getting 20 or 30 grand, gee whiz, I think it's worth your time for that kind of money. We have clients getting six-figure checks all the time. So it's very lucrative. You need to find someone that's an expert at it to handle it for you.